99% of people watching this have probably never actually worked hard a single day in their entire life. Right now, we're in Tijuana, Mexico, working with a client who owns the number one cancer research facility and the number one stem cell hospital in the entire world. These guys are the hardest working humans that I've ever met in my entire life. And it makes you rethink your definition of hard work. This summer, me and PJ were really grinding in Medellin, Colombia. We were working from the moment we woke up to the moment we went to bed. Today, I feel like I didn't even work hard in Colombia with the amount of effort that we had to use because it's not just, I'm working, I'm doing dumb shit. It is intensive, incredibly intensive stuff. And these guys have lives on their hand. They are under an amount of stress that I don't think people can even comprehend. I mean, it is such an incredible amount of stress. I just thank God they're doing what they're doing because they're really benefiting the world. They are, in some cases, allowing people to live that otherwise would have been dead. I mean, to have that much pressure on your hands, and then people coming in with incredible amounts of pain, breaking your back, rotator cuff, every single injury, looking to get better, trying all traditional sources, and what they're doing for stem cells is illegal in the United States. And it is the only thing that has helped almost every single person who's walking in there. So what they're doing is really spectacular. I mean, the guys, Scott and Ed, are the coolest, nicest, most gracious people out there. I mean, I literally have no reason except for the fact that I love these guys so much why you want to promote what they're doing. I mean, I want everyone that I know that has severe injuries to get stem cells. I'm going to see if I can get my dad stem cells. I mean, everything, because all these things, what they're doing is just, they are really on the cutting edge technology, and being at their facility, seeing this shit, it is unreal. It's unreal. PJ, what was your experience?
You can tell just by even we got to interview a lot of their coworkers today, and even just you know hanging out with them, we got to see what the culture is like at their spot. And I followed Scott along today, and he went to go give a presentation to where they had, I think, like 20 to 30 people all like in chairs looking out at the beautiful ocean, all chatting it up. Last night we went to dinner with them because they like to build this community sense, this sense of enjoyment while they're there. And while I was with Scott, he gave like an hour to 2 hours probably presentation of what you want to be doing, some aftercare for the stem cells, and if anyone has any questions going into it or any concerns, and telling them more stuff that they can do, and just kind of like hanging out and chilling with them. And that, when we were talking to Scott afterwards, he said that's his favorite part of this all, getting to meet at all his patients and hang out with them. And it's just bizarre. This was such a cool day, hanging out there and hanging out with them, and trying to make some videos for them.
Yeah, and we're gonna make the best videos in the world for them, and we are. So this stuff is, it's really motivating for trying to build a business. And I mean, they have the facility that they have. It's almost like a Google tech startup business. I mean, that's how it's operated on the top floor. Like it's a tech startup. And but it's not a startup. It's like a Google building. It is unreal the amount of the facility that they have there. It is the technology, everything, how it's run, how it works. The culture that they have in their business, I've never seen anything like it. It's like the strongest family unit relationship where everybody knows their role and everybody's solving fires at all time and doing everything. I've never seen in my entire life. Another guy that I work for is this guy Ken McElroy, who he is a massive billion-dollar real estate firm. But the people who are going in to try and cure cancer are different than ones who are going into real estate. It's not good or bad, but the individuals are going to be slightly different because the cancer The people who are trying to cure cancer, they are serving a much higher purpose. No matter what and how well run a real estate firm is, the vision, even it's just going to be buying more real estate. Whereas the vision of trying to cure cancer, that is something that's so much bigger than you, which allows people to, or makes people want to work so ridiculously hard. And every single person in there, I would trust with my life after spending some time in there. I mean, I truly would. And I know that they would do absolutely everything in their power. I mean, it puts a new perspective on how to run a company for sure, and how to give a vision that people want to follow to such a high degree. I mean, Scott said one of the most profound statements, and I'm trying to recall to the best of my ability, but I was asking him for advice because I want to hire people with much more wisdom who are significantly older in their 40s, 50s, even 60s, who I know how young and naive I am. Those people have the experience and the wisdom that I just you can't buy. Or I mean, that's what I'm trying to do. I was trying to bring them onto the team. And he said the vision has to be so strong where even though if they are working for you, they're really working for the vision. And so everyone is trying to achieve the vision, and you guys are just working together in unison towards that overall vision. And it's not everyone's working for you, because that's how a shitty company is run. A great company is run where there is an overall higher purpose that you are trying to accomplish, and everybody in the company understands that, and they are all pushing forward, because that's what drives innovation, that's what drives creativity. When you take yourself out of the equation and there's something higher. Curing cancer is a hell of a lot higher than one person, and everybody there understands that. So how do you create something for everyone else to be a North Star that everyone is trying to achieve? And Ken's real estate company, it's different than trying to cure cancer. Uh, in a hardcore marketing company, it's going to be different, but you have to define that, and you have to have everyone on board with that North Star, or they're just working for you. And that is not a situation that I think I would ever want to be in. But uh, that's where you got to get. So, what is that North Star? I have very, very slim ideas, but I think it's also something that you develop over time. And that's one thing we have is time. Therefore, just going to keep on trying to show the best
They're
results.
definitely doing that really good too because their doctors that they're taking on, Scott was telling us that they could be making so much, like a stupid amount of more money working at a hospital in America, but they're just all for what they're doing. And another interesting thing is that Ed would read these doctors have like they're super high class doctors. Like they're the cream of the crop. They have 20 papers published. And so Ed would read through those papers, show that he read them, which no one would do, and then send the doctors, text like, "Hey, I read you have some research in doing this or some work in doing this. We're trying to do this over here." And then the doctors would be like, "Holy, you actually read that shit? Like, let me find out more about what you're doing over here." And so that's how they kind of take them on. It goes to show how badass that work is. For Ed to do building a company, but
And also understand it and how smart you have to be, because he explains the science behind cancer and what they're doing in stem cells better than any of the doctors that we talk to. And that's usually because entrepreneurs, they need to talk to the simplest possible language because they're always talking to so many people. So they have to understand the topic and then express it to where the everyday person can understand it. And then another profound thing is just how they talk about each other. I mean, when you are talking to Scott in a room by himself, the way that he talks about Ed is so amazing to hear. I mean, it is so amazing. And the way Ed talks about Scott and how the team talks about them when they're not around, it is only the best possible things in the entire world. And it's not just like an ordinary compliment. You can tell from such a genuine place in their heart that they feel so much respect and love for these people. And that's just that is the culture that they have in their business, and it is so aspiring as kind of a new business owner to try and create something as badass as them. And then another thing is how neither one of them are doctors. They both dropped out of, well, Ed never went to college. He ended up going to prison instead. And Scott dropped out of college. But they are running one of the most successful hospitals in the entire world. And the main pushback they get is not from doctors, it's from random people who said, well, you guys aren't PhDs, you guys aren't doctors, but they're capitalists, they're entrepreneurs. And that's really what you need to run a great facility is someone who can set that vision and take extraordinary amounts of risks. They were both retired and went all in on this business. They sacrificing every single dollar that they had, mortgaging their house, taking risk that no one else is willing to take, and built something, rehired every single person in this rundown hospital that was out of business, rehired every single person, created something from scratch that had never really been done. And now all other doctors are saying, thank God you're not just a doctor running this, because that's not the personality type that does well managing not just doctors, but there's 100 other employees. They have 210 plus full-time employees and then thousands of subcontractors that work every single day that they use for their companies in so many other aspects. And so you really need someone who is driving innovation in a bunch of other directions. And that's what they're doing. They're the cutting edge, doing the coolest things in the world. That's why me and PJ are going to show the best results for them in the entire universe, because I just want to keep hanging out with them. Uh, I mean, they are really, really awesome guys. So that's what we're going to do. Goodbye. Oh, I guess the point of the video was most people have never worked hard in their entire life, not a single day. Even what you think is hard work just gets readjusted when you actually work hard. And so now I understand today is my baseline for hard work now. And even if I work 10, 12 hours in a day, that's not real hard work. I now know how hard you can work, and it's very mentally straining. This is the last juice squeeze of energy that I can produce because I got to go to bed and wake up so I can get back to work. Let's figure out, let me end this.